15-Minute Mondays, your kickstart to week high-energy 15-minute episode on the Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Daniel Greg Johnson. Let's get right into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back on the Success Blueprint. I hope that you had a fantastic weekend. We're going to get right into it. I just want to remind you, every Thursday, the Executive 5, 1 challenge, 3 moves, 1 challenge for the week. If you're a business leader, executive, senior leader, listen into it. Even if you're just an entrepreneur, there's always some tips that will help you. So I hope to see you there. But today, the identity hangover, when your old self can't follow you. And this is a really powerful episode, and I hope that you strap in and remember make some notes on your phone, even a voice recorder. Let's dive in and you will see why this is so important. Nobody warns you about this part of growth. They tell you that you level up, they tell you to become your best self, and they tell you that success will feel empowering, exciting, and liberating. Sounds familiar? Motivational videos, coaches. Yes, it's always there. This is something that we scream at each other. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong about a tribe, but you need to listen careful, you need to listen deep, and you need to listen critically. Sometimes it does. And sometimes it feels like you're standing in the middle of your own life, holding a new version of yourself while your old world looks at you like you've changed too much. That disorienting aftershock has a name. And I call it the identity hangover. It's what happens when your inner evolution outpaces your environment, when your mindset changes faster than your friendships, when your standards shift and your old routines feel too small, when you stop tolerating what you used to tolerate and you suddenly feel difficult, cold, or different. This matters because the identity hangover is where a lot of people shrink back, not because they're weak, but because loneliness, guilt, and confusion make growth feel like a mistake. Today, I'm talking to you about how to normalize that experience. And we're going to put language to the grief that comes with upgrading yourself. And I'm going to give you a practical framework to evolve without burning bridges, without isolating yourself, and without crawling back into an older identity just to feel accepted again. So what's the problem here? What's the issue? Growth doesn't only change what you do, it changes what you can tolerate. And that's where the friction starts. You outgrow the role you used to play in your family, the version of you your friends depended on, the job that once felt like security but now feels like a cage, the relationship dynamic that survives on you being smaller than your potential. Suddenly the jokes don't land the same, the conversation feels repetitive, the old coping habits don't soothe anymore. The people you love still love you, but they're not always comfortable with who you're becoming. And you start thinking something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong, tribe. This is what happens when an identity updates. It creates distance between the old familiar you and the new real you. That distance feels like loss, because it is. But what is the emotional cost nobody talks about? The identity hangover comes with 3 specific pains. The pain 1, grief. You grieve a version of life you didn't know you were leaving. You grieve old friendships, old normal, old belonging. Pain number 2, loneliness. Because when you stop people-pleasing, you lose the easy social glue of agreement. You stop fitting in by default. And pain 3, guilt. You feel guilty for becoming someone who no longer tolerates what you used to tolerate. You feel guilty for changing the rules of access. This is why success can feel confusing. You expected it to feel like victory, and instead it feels like disconnection. And the most dangerous part is what people do next. They shrink back. Not because they want to, but more because the nervous system would rather feel accepted than free. The identity hangover is not just emotional, it's biological. Humans are wired for belonging, so when growth threatens belonging, the brain treats growth like danger. And that's why you can be proud of yourself and still feel unsettled. And so that we can really cement that and underpin that, I give you your 5-step framework where you can evolve without burning bridges or shrinking back. This is the part you can apply immediately. This will help you hold your growth cleanly. Step number 1, name what you've outgrown without shaming the past. You can't integrate what you refuse to acknowledge. The action that you take here, write 3 sentences. Number 1, the old version of me survived by. Number 2, the old version of me tolerated. Number 3, the new version of me can no longer. And then you complete those sentences. No judgment, just truth. This step prevents the most common mistake, pretending nothing has changed and then feeling resentful when people treat you like the old you. Your new self needs language. Otherwise, the past writes your identity for you. Step number 2, expect the social recoil so you don't take it personally. When you change, the system you belonged to feels it. People respond in predictable ways. They joke to pull you back to normal. They criticize the new you as too intense. They test boundaries to see if you fold. And they subtly punish you with distance. This isn't always malicious. Often it's unconscious. Your growth destabilizes the rules people had for you. And the action that you take here, when recoil happens, say to yourself, I'm not being rejected, the system is adjusting. If you don't expect recoil, you'll interpret it as proof you're wrong for changing. That's how people relapse into old identities. Step number 3, build the bridge sentence, connection without collapse. This is where you evolve without burning bridges. This is the action that you take. Use a simple sentence that holds both truth and connection. I care about you and I'm changing. I'm not judging you, I'm choosing differently. I'm not disappearing, I'm just not available for the old pattern. I love you and I'm not going back to who I was to keep the peace. These sentences do something powerful. They communicate growth without contempt. People don't fear your growth as much as they fear being left behind or looked down on. When you communicate cleanly, you reduce the threat. Step number 4, replace your old coping with new anchors. Most people shrink back because the old coping mechanisms are still available. Old coping looks like people-pleasing, over-explaining, rescuing others, staying quiet to avoid discomfort, and returning to environments that numb you. You hear me? Does that resonate? Well, the action that you take here, choose 2 new anchors that stabilize your new identity. Number 1, a daily self-respect ritual, small and consistent. Example, a morning walk, journaling, gym, prayer, a no phone first hour when you wake up, a nightly reflection. That's simple. Second, a boundary practice. For instance, 1 no per week without guilt, 1 honest conversation, 1 refusal to carry someone else's emotional chaos. Anchors give your identity a home, and without them, growth becomes fragile and reversible. Step number 5, create a new belonging map. This is where the power returns. People often think they must choose between growth and belonging. False tribe. You just need new belonging. The action that you take here, map 3 circles. Circle number 1, people who celebrate my growth. Circle number 2, people who tolerate my growth but need time. Circle 3, people who require me to shrink to stay connected. Now choose 1 action. Invest more in circle 1. Give circle 2 patience with boundaries. And reduce access to circle 3. This is how you evolve without cruelty. You don't need to cut people off dramatically. You need to stop letting the wrong relationships define your identity. Belonging is not about staying the same. It's about being accepted while becoming. So be firm on that and be strong on that. Follow this 5-step framework and many things will change. And I can guarantee you that as you listen to this, you will recognize life is work constantly. If you want to grow, then you need to work. You need these patterns, you need these frameworks. And if no one gives them to you, you don't remind yourself, you're just on autopilot, where 9.5 out of 10 people live every single day. And what's the deeper meaning here? The truth about loneliness and growth. Here is what's really happening in the identity hangover. You're leaving a version of you that was built for survival and stepping into a version of you built for alignment. Survival identities are often communal. They keep you bonded through sameness, compliance, and predictability. Alignment identities are often lonely at first because they require honesty. The loneliness isn't proof you're wrong. It's proof you early. When you evolve, you temporarily lose the comfort of familiarity before you gain the stability of authenticity. The price seems high in the beginning, but it's worth it. That's the price of becoming real. But it's also the reward. Once you stop performing, you start living. I had a friend group that didn't survive the upgrade. Not only one, actually a couple. I can give you a real world example here. When I stopped drinking because I wanted more mental clarity, better health, my friends didn't attack me openly. They just made jokes. Since when are you so serious? Invitations for Bryce slowed, connection slowed. The message was subtle. Come back to who you were. At first, you start questioning yourself, but then you realize this isn't about alcohol, it's about identity. And then you stand firm and you keep your choice. New friendships will form, maybe not instantly, but eventually with people who respect the new standard. And other people might become acquaintances that you don't see so often anymore. But it is really important that you stay true to yourself, because that is where authenticity lives. Not a professional I coached got a promotion they worked for years to earn. Everyone congratulated him, but inside he felt disconnected. The old colleagues started treating him differently. Some became distant and some became competitive, and then he just couldn't be part of the gang. So he thought something was wrong, but it wasn't. He had just crossed an invisible line. The identity hangover was real. And once he stopped trying to be the old version of him, he became a more grounded leader and found belonging at his new level. And that's what it's about. A client, let's call him Mark without saying his name, had built his life around being the reliable one, the fixer, the peacekeeper. He was successful, respected, and privately exhausted. In coaching, we saw the truth. His identity was built on being needed. The moment he started setting boundaries, his family pushed back. You changed. His business partners tested him. Friends became colder. He almost collapsed back into old patterns just to feel liked again. Instead, we created a new belonging map and a bridge sentence. We installed anchors, and the shift was dramatic. His anxiety dropped, his decisions became cleaner, and the people who truly valued him adjusted. The ones who only valued his availability fell away, and that's the right thing. He said something that sums up this entire episode. I didn't lose people, I lost roles. That's what growth really is. And let me give you a couple of advanced strategies. The identity lag rule. Expect the lag between inner change and external acceptance. Plan for it. Don't panic when the world takes time to catch up. The no apology upgrade. Stop apologizing for standards. You can be kind without being negotiable. And the emotional detox window. After big growth choices, avoid high drama environments for a short season. Not forever, just long enough to stabilize. And that's it. Let me give you your weekly challenge for immediate implementation. This week, do the identity hangover reset. Number 1, write what you've outgrown in 3 sentences. Number 2, identify one social recoil you've been taking personally. Number 3, use one bridge sentence with someone you care about. Number 4, install one anchor ritual daily for 7 days. And number 5, build your belonging map and adjust access to one person gently but firm. By Sunday, you feel stronger, not because everything is resolved. It is a result of you stopping negotiating with your own evolution. And if this episode named something you've been living through silently, share it with someone in your own world who is outgrowing their old self and feeling guilty about it. And then subscribe, leave a review, and join me next Monday for another episode of the 15-Minute Monday. It's important. Copy the episode link, send it to only 3 people, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, TikTok, wherever you communicate, and help me grow this community even bigger. And a big thank you to Doc Marty Mushrooms. Growth requires nervous system stability. Doc Marty Mushroom blends support calm focus, resilience, and mental clarity, especially when your life is changing and your emotions are catching up. Head over to docmarty.com, and 15-Minute Monday listeners receive a 20% discount of their first purchase. Head over, give him some love. The discount code is DAN20, DAN20. And in closing, the identity hangover is not a sign you're losing yourself. It's a sign you're leaving a version of you that was built to survive. You're not too much. You're not too different. You're not too selfish for growing. You're just no longer available for the old role. And yes, tribe, it may feel lonely, but loneliness is often the hallway between who you were and who you're becoming. Don't turn around in the hallway. Keep walking. And that was it. Daniel Craig Johnson, your host on The Success Blueprint. With my promise, I'll be back. Take care, tribe.